Peace and prosperity be unto all who's listening and watching. It's your girl, Shay Miller, right? And I'm back with another video. And today, I just want to talk to you guys about like small things in our lives. And sometimes it's not even small things, things that are affecting us, making us feel like very miserable, make us feel very sad, like a part of our life that we're very unsatisfied with or very unhappy about, and could be even really disappointed in ourselves about certain specific things in our lives. We can overlook the calculation of something so small to jeopardize something so big that you're working on. So be mindful of the things that are upsetting you, making you upset, or things that you're disappointed in, or the things that you doubt, or the things you say about yourself, or the things that make you feel miserable while doing them. Because ultimately, from my experience, I didn't realize how one little small, insignificant, yet significant thing, and how I felt about that small, significant thing started to affect the ultimate reality of not only how I move about things, but how my health become affected with that as well. And how I started to see how I was miserable in one aspect of something I was actually working on. The way I felt about that one small thing started projecting in the bigger things that I were working on for my future. They started to project. So that misery projected in the greatness that I was trying to build for myself. And not only didn't realize that I was projecting this reality into everything that I was working on building, or everything that I'm building, it started to affect my health, and it started to affect my ultimate reality, because it affected my efforts, it affected my behavior, it affected the way I was thinking, it affects me every day. But ultimately, I have to be responsible for the way I think, the way I feel, and how I see things. Because if I am unsatisfied or unhappy with something, it can mess up something ultimately amazing, life-changing for me. I know that things that we're unhappy with, things that we doubt in our lives, things that we're uncertain about, sometimes affect the ultimate reality of what we're working on already, and kind of put us in a hard position to get where we want to be, because sometimes it makes it feel like it's taking even longer. But I don't think that is that the situation. I think that we're just staying in the suffering part of life too long, because we can't focus on why it's happening. We can only focus on what it's teaching, or what we're learning from it. And if we focus on the lesson and not the storm, then the suffering wouldn't swallow us up away. It wouldn't have swallowed us up, right? It wouldn't like hover over us and make us feel entirely defeated. But I want you guys to be mindful of what you think about. What you think about yourself, what you think about the things that's going on in your life. Because these things do affect you. They affect your reality. They affect the way you work towards the things you want. Even if you're working really hard, because you have those doubts, because you have those things that you're holding on to you within yourself, and they're hurting you. Not only are they hurting you or they're bothering you, they make you feel miserable. You're carrying in the most productive part of your lives. If you're an entrepreneur, this definitely, you need to be mindful of this. If you're working on a greater future for yourself and you have something in your life that's really affecting you, be mindful that those negative thoughts, negative energy, that those negative things that you feed into your mind, that you feed into on a daily basis, circumstances and hardships and things that come up in your daily lives, be mindful of the energy that you put into that, because those things will make you exhausted. You'll be exhausted every day. And I know it. I know it. It really affects one's work performance, one's ability to even get to point A to point B in destination. It affects you ultimately, because you're working on something amazing, and yet gotten there, but because of how you think about it, you take even longer. We have to be mindful that the projection of our now is the projection of how we see and the reality of things, and sometimes our misery. They say misery loves company, but I've never shared my misery with any company. And times can be really rough, but I would never say. Honestly, hard times do pave the way, and they ultimately build character. So you got your struggles and your suffering. You got your perseverance, and then you got your other one that builds character, and then at the top you have faith, and then it goes around over again. It's a cycle, and it feeds into itself. So everything that you're going through is only to ultimately build your faith. Not only your faith in the infinite, unlimited possibilities of things happening in your life, but the infinite possibilities that you can overcome anything if you believe in yourself. So there's a lot of things going on in life, and I personally want to help you guys. I want to inspire you guys, because I know what happens when you neglect to be mindful of how you're thinking about things, and how you let things hover over you and carry you into a place of like great misery, kind of like deep sorrow. But misery is way worse than sorrow. Misery can carry itself from one aspect of your life to all your aspects. And if you're working on something amazing, I suggest you guys to think better about it. Change your mind, because your mind is ultimately what makes all the realities happen. Besides, your actions are what makes those realities come into play. But you first have to think about it, and you first have to be sure about it, and then you have to be certain that you can do it, and you have to believe in yourself and believe that you can overcome anything in the process of achieving all those things. Now, I know entrepreneurship is hard. I know getting a better life is hard, and doing what we want is hard. It's all hard. But if life was easy, life would always be hard. So ultimately, it's best to do what is hard than do what is easy. And I know times are getting rough. Many opportunities present themselves, and sometimes the lack of skill makes it almost harder to want to continue on doing them. But ultimately, with great opportunity, despite the lack of skill, it's best to give your best effort, and despite how hard it is, try until you succeed. Every day is a new day, and if we keep looking at our situations, our circumstances, our trials, and the storms in our lives the same way we looked through them when we first started experiencing them, we will constantly get the same result, the same reality, and the same messed up situation. I want you guys to know that if you carry one aspect of your life, like if you're very miserable from your job, which I can reason with anybody who is, you got to have a gratitude mindset no matter what. Sometimes the really insignificant things to you are the most significant things for your future. You may not see all the reason in it. You may not know all the whys. You just know that this is what you're going through, and this is what you need to overcome. Ultimately, it's best to encourage yourself, speak life into yourself, think positively, and see the good and the bad in the situation. And know that the good always outweighs the bad. Now, no matter what you're going through, know that you can always overcome it, because if you're in this place at this point in your life, I'm pretty sure you went through it at another place in your life, at another time in your life, at another age in your life. We go through different things in our life at different ages, at different times, but ultimately it's all the same. We still have to overcome something. So just be the best you can be and give your effort. Don't carry misery or sadness or anything with you. Make amends with it. Let it go. And if you're still in the same boat, think better. Find a better way of thinking about it so that it doesn't drag down your future by affecting your work performance and your other aspects of your life. If you're building something greater, if you carry your misery with you, it will affect what you're building. It will affect your productiveness. It will affect your health. It will affect everything. And I'm telling you from experience. I'm telling you from sincerity and experience that the way you think about one aspect of your life will ultimately, consciously and unsubconsciously, affect your life. And it will make your life a lot tougher than you want it to be. So instead of staying stuck in the misery and the suffering, just learn the lesson. Figure out what it's intended to learn, what you're intended to learn, and get through it. Love you all. Peace and love. Happiness. I hope you guys have an abundant day. Like, subscribe, share this video.